Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Institution of Global Professional Free webinar. Thank you all for joining with us in this wonderful afternoon. My lovely audience, today I am your host for the afternoon. I am Yarni Sakhtar Chaudhary from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel honored to host this webinar. It's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professional Free webinar. Thank you all for joining us today in this marvelous afternoon. And it's my humble request to you, all of you, stay with us till the end. And don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends. So let's together and learn together. Today, our webinar is on apps, website, and research for teaching English. And today we have our speaker. Our speaker name is uh, Dr. Atul Patil from India. Welcome, sir, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that warm welcome.
Okay, sir, you can share your presentation.
Shall I begin directly?
Yes, sir. Yeah, sir, you
Yeah,
can start now.
yeah, I hope you can see my presentation.
Yes, I can see you.
All right, so thank you once again, the entire team of International Institute of Global Professionals. Special thanks to Professor Kaushik and very heartfelt thanks to the host of today's program, Professor Yanis. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for this opportunity. I feel quite delighted to be here on this virtual platform and throw some light on this very interesting topic. And I have coined this term teachnology, that is, teaching with technology. And today I'm going to share with you some important resources that we can use for the teaching and learning purposes when it comes to enhancing communication skills in English. So let me begin by saying that once upon a time, when window was just a small square hole in a house, when application was something written on a piece of paper, when keyboard was the piano and mouse was an animal, when file was an important official document, and when hard drive was a very long, hectic road trip, when cut was done with a knife and paste with glue, when web was a spider's house and virus was flu. And mind you, apple and blackberry were only fruits. So gone are the days today because of the influence of technology. The way we think, the way we live, and the way we teach as teachers, all these things have drastically changed. And therefore, we see that all these words also have received additional meanings, and therefore, this is how technology has influenced. Now, gone are the days, therefore, when teachers were asked to incorporate technology like two parts of metal, if they come together, they repel, when it comes to teaching and technology. But today both of them get attracted towards each other. That is how technology has influenced. And with this new normal, especially post COVID, we can say that we cannot return to the world as it was, because things have drastically changed, not only in one country but all over the world. And therefore, what we see today, in a span of 1 minute, you see all these activities happening on this earth. 1.4 million scrolling, 21.1 million text are sent, 5 hours of content uploaded on YouTube, and 4,14,764 apps are getting downloaded. 695 sorry 6,095,000 6 lakh and 95,000 stories are being shared. 2 lakh people are tweeting, and the list can go on and on. So what we are discussing in these 60 seconds, these many things are happening simultaneously, and that is how we have started exploring and using technology. And therefore we as teachers also need to incorporate this. So if I give you a simple question, this is a small question for all of you. A bat and ball cost 110 rupees in total, right? That is the total cost, either rupees or dollar or anything. And the bat cost 100 rupees more than the ball. So the question is, how much does the ball cost? You can answer in the chat box, or live chat that we have online on YouTube. Please answer, and you will be surprised to know that when I share the answer, you would be taken aback, because many people come up with the answer saying that the ball would cost 10 rupees. But that is not the correct answer. It is incorrect, because let's see, the total cost of the both the items is 110. So x plus 100 will be 110. And if we go ahead with this formula, so the value of x is 5. So the ball cost 5 rupees, whereas the bat cost 105 rupees. So that is how the total comes to 110. So why did we answer this incorrectly? The reason is that we often substitute difficult problems with simpler ones so that we are able to solve it quickly. However, we might make mistakes, and so is the case with technology. When we wish to use it, we might make mistakes, like we witnessed the same when we moved from offline teaching to online teaching during the pandemic. And because of COVID-19, the effects of COVID also were extended to the field of education, because we had to move from classroom teaching to online teaching. And it was quite a challenging task, but we ensured that the processes of teaching and learning did not stop. So this question is now, of no value. Earlier, people used to discuss whether to use technology or not to use, but today technology has become an integral part of our lives, and therefore it is also a crucial, aspect of our teaching and learning processes. But we also need to remember that technology is a double edged sword. It can harm us if we ill treat technology. However, it can also benefit us if we are able to harness it and use it for the betterment of our lives. And therefore, if we look at almost every institution, thousands of rupees or dollars, much investment is made in schools, colleges, and universities. So that is not the problem with infrastructure. Yes, we are aware of digital divide, what haves and have not, but we also understand that even mobile phones now can be used as technology. So the problem is not with the resources, but the problem is there hasn't been any established or tested model which we as teachers can use to collaborate and teach with technology, especially when it comes to the field of English language teaching. And therefore, before we get into the topic, we must understand what is our students or learners' attitude towards the use of technology, and what is our attitude as teachers when it comes to using technology in the classroom. And as we know that most of us as teachers were not born with technology. We managed to immigrate, and therefore we are like digital immigrants, whereas our learners are digital natives. They are always 24 by 7 connected, and very fast. And therefore, they are like independent learners. In India, there was an interesting project called Hole in the Wall by a software engineer called Sugat Mitra. What he did was he went to a small town, a village, and he installed computers. Only the screen was visible to the children from that village. So he installed such computers and provided access to these children, not only for watching but also operating the computer. And what he found was students started learning on their own, and then they started even teaching other kids. They managed to learn how to play games, they managed to run videos, watch them, interpret them. They managed to even play games. So this experiment proved that learners can teach themselves, or learners can use technology. And therefore, gone are the days where we had to carry everything, on our back and go to the school. Today, because of the influence of information and communication technology, things are just a click away, and you can have access to an ocean of resources. And therefore, when we adapted to this change during the lockdown, we had to come up with many smart solutions. So we used our creativity, and I can say that we did more with less resources because we had to manage to continue teaching. So this is how teachers used their creativity, and students on the other side also use their creativity. But this is what happened, and therefore channelizing the creativity is the need of the hour. And things which were very challenging for us, like how to skip school, today it is just a matter of one click. And that is how things have drastically changed when we talk of this new normal, because we explored various aspects of chalk and talk, and now we have arrived to using or exploring digital language laboratories, and we have started teaching on digital platforms, and remote learning or remote teaching is the new normal now. And therefore, when we talk of chalk and talk, to various audio visual aids that we have explored, we don't even get to see some of them today, because today everything is possible with the help of digital language laboratory. And not only in a particular place, but even digital labs are now going virtual. So, like in engineering, we have virtual labs. Similarly, now we can have virtual language labs also. So, this is how children are immersed in the use of technology, and therefore, here the child is asking the teacher to see his home page for homework that he has uploaded. And when the father is asking the daughter about her day in school, she is answering that he can read all about it on her blog that she had just written on her way back from the school. Here, the child is the mother is convincing the child that it was not downloaded, but it was born. And we should therefore not be surprised if in the future people start communicating like this. So rather than shouting or calling for help, the person is shouting F1, F1, F1. So this is how technology is going to influence, and it has already started doing so. And that is how we see language is no exception. So this is how we used to deal with mistakes. But since we started using computer, it is just a matter of two keys on the keyboard. So we know this story of a thirsty crow. This crow, who was, very thirsty, went from one place to another in search of water. But it didn't find water at any place until it reached at a place where there was a small jar of water. But the problem was the level of the water was very low, and therefore it had to put pebbles into the jar one after the other, and only then the level of the water could increase and it could drink water. But this is the traditional way. Now look at the modern crow. The modern crow doesn't spend time. It simply uses a straw to drink water. So this is how technology or any smart solution, if we apply, we are able to solve things immediately. So gone are the days where we had to go to the banks to withdraw, deposit money. Today, everything is just on our fingertips, and that is how technology or any smart solution can be taken as an analogy here when we talk about talk of the straw that the crow uses here. So updating our knowledge so that we don't have to take additional efforts is the need of the hour. And therefore, along with other basic human needs, we also need access to the internet, and therefore this can be added as one of the important human needs. Now, language, as I said, has been influenced by the use of technology. And this is how, if you look at our learners, this is how they communicate. They use a lot of acronyms, they use a lot of emoticons and symbols, and the list goes on and on. So, what do these chat acronyms stand for? Now, this could be another topic for a debate where this is an exploitation of language, or this is creative use of language. So there are two camps or two groups. One group thinks that it is an exploitation, and the other group thinks it is creative use of language has always changed, and this is a new way of developing language. So we are not going to get into the debate. What I'm trying to tell you is how technology has influenced. So all these acronyms are used by our youngsters, and most of them we may not even understand. So not only words, but they also go ahead with symbols, and all these symbols also carry certain meaning. Like the first one means wink, the second one is annoyed, high five, hug, and the list goes on like this. And therefore, with all these things in mind, when we look at the environment in a school, so a school will be a place where students would be responsible for their own learning. So they will become like independent learners, where they would be constantly engaged in higher order thinking skills or activities when we talk of Bloom's taxonomy. They would work collaboratively to solve problems which have never probably been solved. And therefore, learning will not have any fixed schedule or a timetable. It will not be bound to any such timetable. It will be a place where classrooms would utilize spaces in the most meaningful ways, and where the teacher will be no longer a sage on the stage but a guide by the side. And therefore, he or she will not be the only center of attraction or attention. And all these things like blended learning, blended teaching, or flipped classroom methods would be very common. And this is how the possibilities are going to be endless. So, this tells us about the future of technology and the field of education. So, welcome to the future. As I have been saying, that advancement in technology has drastically influenced everything, and the way we learn and the way we teach are no exception. And therefore, call and mall are new methods of teaching the English language. And call stands for computer assisted language learning, whereas mall stands for mobile assisted language learning. Now, if we peep into the past, the last 25 years, we can see that the size of the computer has been reduced to a large extent. So, if this is what happened in the last 25 years, we must now start thinking about the next 25 years and plan. Because, as I said, technology has always influenced language, and we can see that when printing was invented, language changed to a certain extent. When telephone was invented, many new phrases, right from hello to many other phrases, were added to language. Broadcasting had similar impact, and therefore computer or internet cannot be an exception. So one can say that language gets richer and richer as technology advances. And here is a small example in the new normal, even vocabulary because of the pandemic. We received many such new words which became routine words during the lockdown period. So this is how things get developed, they get changed over a period of time. And therefore, when we look at what Albert Einstein say, that instead of just teaching our students, or our role is not only to pass on the knowledge, because now we are no longer the only source of information. Information is available online everywhere. So we now need to provide conditions in which they can learn. So providing them with a good platform is the need of the hour. And therefore, we know Bloom's taxonomy. We are also aware of Bloom's modified taxonomy. But as teachers, we also need to know Bloom's extended digital taxonomy, where you can see that from the lower order thinking skills, instead of knowledge or remembering, it's all about doing, connecting, and then applying, conceptualizing, evaluating, creating, and most importantly, sharing. So, sharing is possible with the help of technology, and that is how technology can. Help us. We can publish our content publicly, broadcast it. That is how we can contribute. So even students have this liberty, and therefore learning doesn't necessarily get completed at every stage in the classroom. Classroom is just a platform where we introduce a particular topic, and learning of that topic may not get completed there itself. So beyond the classroom, we need to go. But as teachers, we cannot go beyond the classroom with every single student, but we can do that with the help of technology. And therefore, digital media offers ample opportunity, with the help of which students can not only practice but reinforce and explore various platforms for creative and critical thinking. Of course, technology can never replace teachers, but it is said that teachers who don't use technology might get replaced by teachers who use it. And therefore, today, with the wide spectrum of technology, the whole world has become like a classroom. And during the pandemic, we experienced that what we used to do within four walls of a classroom and teach our students went everywhere. Parents could watch us teach, any other student, anyone could watch a specific teacher teach. And that is how language learning also excuse, has greatly been enhanced by what we or our students do outside the classroom, beyond their study materials, whether they are following a normal course or not. So, when we talk of using technology in teaching, we know that our learners have different learning styles. And with the help of technology, whether it is online or mobile learning, we can accommodate as many learning styles as we wish to. And that is the advantage of using technology. And if this is how technology has influenced, maybe in the future, learning will change to a great extent, because it will no longer be defined by time and place. It will be mobile, remote learning, anytime, anywhere possible. And educators' jobs will also change to a great extent. They will have more platforms to connect, and there would be geographical and virtual communities. And therefore, continuous career readiness is the new norm that they will have to take care. However, this will also bring many challenges for us as trainers, because we will have to design academic pathways, we will have to lead students along with those pathways, and we will have to develop as well as provide support for various online platforms. And we will have to have a edutainment approach, education with entertainment, that is game based practical tools, holding games and educational activities. We will have to design virtual worlds. We will have to develop cross professional skills and take care of all these cognitive abilities of memory, reading speed, concentration, and the list goes on. And therefore our roles, we will no longer be only teachers in the future. Some of us might be educational online platform coordinators or competency trackers, startup mentors, moderators, game masters, tutors, project training organizers, and the list goes on like this. So this tells us how technology is continuously influencing and will influence even in the future. So students will be producers of information instead of only being consumers of information. Because when we look at the 21st century skills, they promote learning, literacy, as well as life skills. And under the umbrella of these 21st century skills, we see other important sub skills of critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, and the list goes on like this. And therefore, I hope that you are aware of this very interesting and useful approach of TPAC, that is technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. So, what is this TPAC framework all about? Earlier, when we used to teach, traditionally content was the king. If you know your content well as a teacher, you would be able to become an effective teacher, and you would be a very good teacher with your concepts, because content you would be able to pass on from your brain to the brain of the students, because content was the most important thing. Then, along with content, teachers started thinking of how to deliver this content. So, how to deliver, when to deliver, how much to deliver, that brings in pedagogical aspect. So, not only content knowledge, but pedagogical knowledge also became very important. And therefore, courses like B8, Bachelor of Education, Master of Education, or any other such courses became very popular. And therefore, content was the subject matter, but how to deliver that subject matter, pedagogy became important. So, not only content knowledge, but pedagogical knowledge became important. And together, they call pedagogical content or content pedagogical knowledge. And now, today, another segment, that is the use of technology, has been added to this. So, you don't only need to be good at your content, you must know what kind of pedagogy you need to incorporate and what technological platforms you need to incorporate. So, when we put all these things together, as you can see here, you see content knowledge, that is CK, then you have pedagogical knowledge, PK. When you combine the two, you get pedagogical content knowledge. So this is a must. But now technology is the third aspect. And when you combine technology with content, you get technological content knowledge. And you combine technology with pedagogy, you get technological pedagogical knowledge. And when you combine all the three, you get technological pedagogical content knowledge. And what you see outside the circle with dashes is the context, because what is applicable in one country, in one context, may not necessarily be applicable to another. And therefore, what is this context? Look at this question, for example. What you see here on the screen, that a person is holding a block of wood. The question is, what will happen to the piece of wood that the person is holding when the person lets go of it? If he leaves his hand, if he uh, doesn't hold the piece of wood, what will happen to the piece of wood? That is the question. So the answer that most of you would come up with will be, it will fall. So this is not the only answer, although correct, but this is not the only answer, because the answer depends on the context. So what I was talking about here, context can change technological pedagogical content knowledge approach, because the answer depends on where the person is standing. If the person is standing on the earth and holding a piece of wood, and if he lets go of it, it will fall because of the gravitational force. However, if the person is underwater and holding a piece of wood, and if he leaves it, it will float up, it will go towards the surface of the water. And if the person is into the space, the block of wood will not move because there is no force in any direction there. So the answer depends on where the person is and what environment the person is in. That is all about context. And therefore, depending on the context, we might come up with different aspects of TPAC. So here the answer would be, now many people get carried away by the use of technology. Please remember, technology cannot substitute any teacher. And therefore, technology is just a helping hand and it should come in the end. Our major focus should be on the content. For example, when it comes to language teaching, whether I am going to teach listening, speaking, reading, writing, or what other skill, and even under that broader aspect of a specific skill, you can have any subtopic. So once I decide my content, my subject matter, then I need to decide what pedagogy I'm going to incorporate or use. So if I have to talk about a particular topic, will discussion help? Will debate help? Or will a presentation help? Or can I conduct a survey? So what pedagogical aspect or methodology I'm going to adapt? And technology is there to support, and therefore I should think of technology in the end. But people go the other way. They say that I'm going to use movie maker, and then they decide on pedagogy and then content. So that is a wrong method. So technology is therefore only a helping hand that we need to keep in mind. Now while using technology, I see many teachers get frustrated. Remember, technology never goes wrong. Our planning might go wrong, and therefore we need advanced planning. And as it is said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you might have any kind of frustration when you deal with technology. And therefore, you need teaching task manager where you need to use control alt and delete. And what is this control alt and delete in the context of teaching? So you need to have good control over all these aspects: your classroom, your learners, the content, and the delivery, the method in which you are going to deliver your content. So once you have good control over these aspects, you would be able to begin the process effectively. Now, there are many things which are beyond our control. For example, the curriculum, if that is said by the university or the college, where you don't have any role to play or you cannot contribute, you cannot control that. But how you teach that curriculum is what you have control over. The standards that you teach, the way you treat your students, the behavior standards that are followed in your classroom, and how much you engage with parents, and the list can go on. So rather than thinking about what we cannot control, what we can control is more important. Then the second important key is alt. So instead of teaching in the same fashion redundantly, we can come up with alternatives to the method of lecturing. So it could be think, pair, share approach or activities, or team-based learning, gamification, different activities we can always come up with. And therefore, alternate methods, alternate ways, alternative teaching methods can always help us, take learning to a greater height. And the most important role that we play as teachers is we need to delete fear, of course, our own fear to begin with, and then fear that our students might develop. They might even have a pessimist approach that we need to remove. We also need to remove time wasters when it comes to teaching. We need to overcome common errors, and most importantly, when it comes to speaking performance, the productive skills of speaking or writing, we need to overcome MTI, mother tongue interference. So whatever are the deviations from the mother tongue, standard norms, we need to overcome them. And therefore, as it is said that if we dare to teach, we must never cease to learn. And therefore, teaching methods adapted earlier, of course, they were effective in that particular period. We had very creative, knowledgeable teachers who taught us, and therefore we could also become teachers and we could also succeed. So, conventional teaching methods where the sender, the receiver, and the message and the medium, all these aspects were very crucial. But the problem was most of the classes would be teacher centric, and they would be based on textbooks, notes, memorization, recitation, and rote learning techniques. Now, all these things are possible even with the help of technology. So, our role is beyond just imparting training, because these aspects have many limitations, because only chalk and talk method will not help, as it is a one-way flow of sharing information. So all these aspects that you see, remain limitations with this traditional method of teaching. So whether we have got a high technology or a low quality technology, it is not as important as the kind of engagement and innovation that we have when it comes to using technology for teaching purposes. So, with the help of technology, all these aspects are possible. Innovative technologies are available which can enhance the processes of learning and teaching. And therefore, the teacher of the 21st century has to play all such multiple roles like a homemaker or a domestic engineer does at home. Every woman who takes care of multiple activities and responsibilities simultaneously. So is the role of a teacher. So let me therefore now focus or throw light on how we can use this technology and make the processes of teaching and learning English more effective, more useful, and more fruitful. So, to begin with, we can incorporate mass media, because we have been exploring various audiovisual platforms. So when we talk of the newspaper to begin with, they play very crucial role, and along with newspaper we can use or explore radio, television, and this is how we can use mass media, because they are integral part of our life. So when we talk of newspapers, we can use newspapers to bridge the gap between the outside and the classroom, the outside world and the classroom. We can use certain specimen to introduce linguistic and cultural aspects. We can instill love for reading, beyond the classroom, and increase reading speed. General knowledge can be enriched, word power, that is vocabulary, can be enriched. We can also teach grammar using newspapers, or idioms, phrases, innovative constructions, and we can also help students learn how to express their ideas, opinions, and activate critical thinking. Most importantly, we can also develop their written communication. So, what activities can we conduct using newspapers? For example, pictures. We can, cut pictures. We can select pictures and ask them to write captions for those pictures. Loud reading can be done for phonemic awareness. Discussions or role plays could be another activities. For writing, we can ask them to identify a topic sentence or a main idea or theme of a specific article. All five W's: who, what, when, where, why. Are they covered in each and every aspect or each and every news item? And we can ask them to identify. Or visualization, reading the story, reading the news or an article, they can draw a picture. Or word or a thought of the day, comic of the day, guessing headlines or articles, writing your own version of a story. These could be interesting activities, and I can go on and on with many such activities. We can ask them to go ahead with the weather forecast, photography, advertisements, paraphrasing, summarizing. We can also ask them to translate, matching headlines and topic sentences. We can come up with any such exercise. Fact or opinion sentences, role playing the news. We can ask them to perform what is there in the news, writing a letter to the editor. Even zodiac signs, we can conduct various activities. Writing an advertisement or a recipe or a book review or a film review, or it could be an announcement. And this is how we can engage our learners very fruitfully and effectively in the process of teaching and learning. Then brainstorming, mind mapping, note taking, note making. We can teach them different types of learning. We can prepare quizzes on articles, reading between and beyond lines when it comes to political news, for example. Difference between styles, formal and informal, use of active and passive voice, question and answer series, poster making. We can also have college newsletters or use platforms like Storyboard where you can come up with your own cartoons. Like I have prepared this one based on the news or any dialogue that you wish to have. So, this is how you can explore such platforms. Then activities like these, you prepare a template like this and give them one newspaper and ask them to guess, find out what is the international news today, what is there in the gossip column, sports, TV, science, readers letters. Or you can also go ahead with some hints or clues that could be given and ask them to fill in the gaps. You can also ask them to deal with headlines, like they have to look at the headlines and think of better headlines that they can come up with, or then you can ask them to analyze a specific article. So newspapers, there are ample activities that one can conduct. Another important mass media platform is radio. So we call it electronic magic carpet because it is affordable, accessible, feasible, and easy to use. So those who complain that there is no access to technology, begin with small things like even the radio, because radio broadcast or what we call interactive radio instruction is also very possible, because this proved to be an effective means of distant education. So with radio, again, we can help our students develop their listening skills, boost their confidence in speaking, and opportunities to listen to native speakers, communication skills in social context, and the list goes on like this. In India, for example, Ek Dunia Anek Awaz, that is one country or one world but different voices, right? Many voices. This is a good platform for students to explore, where they get to listen to different versions, not only in English but also in different regional languages. Then we can ask the student to listen to the radio, note down details related to people, places, animals, and things mentioned in a specific story. We can teach them vocab, we can teach them grammar, we can also teach pronunciation or script writing, interview, dramatization, and the list goes on like this. So radio, again, my favorite one is Radio Garden. It's like a world map. You just click on a specific region and you get to listen to the radio channel from that particular country or region. Then, of course, BBC English Radio, Idan, MIB.gov, Web Radio, TuneIn.com, BBC World Service Radio, BBC Podcast, BBC Teaching English Radio, that is for teachers. But all these are very important and useful activities. Then television, as we say, seeing is believing. So students would enjoy when they get to see certain things. So that is why television can be incorporated. We can have different activities where we can pause a particular video. We can ask them to predict what would happen next, what has happened, can you describe it. So that I can teach past tense, I can teach present tense, I can teach future tense using just one simple video clip. Then we can play a video without its audio, or we can play the video without its picture screen. So we can turn one of them off and ask students to develop. We can give them an exercise and ask them to fill in the dialogue. We can have any exercise for subtitles. This is the best way, because subtitles, you have a limit of characters, the length, and you can ask them to come up with subtitles as well. Then different channels like Swayam Prabha, television serials called Mind Your Language, or on YouTube you have side by side television. All these are good platforms. And then advancement in mass media or communication is the internet, which has become another important source of information. And therefore, different mobile apps can be incorporated when we talk of mobile assisted language learning. And therefore, as I said, all these aspects have influenced language, and therefore we must know how to use small or call to support our language learning. And as I said some time ago, that we need to provide our students conditions, because we need to do that smartly, because our cities are becoming smart, our mobiles are becoming smart. Are we smart teachers? Are we smart learners? So let me quickly throw some light in another 5 minutes or so on how we can develop the four basic skills in the English language, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and two important systems of grammar and vocabulary using mobile assisted language learning approach. Duolingo, for example, is the best app to learn not only English but even foreign languages, and it has received Best Educational Startup Award. And it is like gamification, learning with games. Then English podcast by British Council, where we can get to listen to everyday conversations, and that too by native speakers, provides our students ample opportunities to develop native like proficiency. So there are many episodes and more than 20 hours of free listening material on a wide variety of topics. Then 2 Minute English is another app which is free and there are no advertisements. And again, it has various topics related to social English, business English. Like 2 Minute English, if you have time, you can even go for 6 Minute English version, where each audio is for 6 minutes on again different interesting topics. Listen audiobooks. People, as we know, reading, the attention span, the reading span, even the eye span are worrisome things now. So rather than reading, like even students don't like to read WhatsApp messages when they have to scroll up again and again. So audio books can be another interesting option, where you can have books, audio books on different genres, and you can provide them exposure to listening. Then Fluent U is another platform where real world videos are available, and it has a huge collection of authentic English videos that one can watch. And they can also be sorted out by skill level, built in language lesson. Google Translation platform itself is so interesting and useful that we can come up with many activities where they can be asked to translate specific words, phrases, clauses, and sentences. So here are some websites, not only mobile apps, but I'm sharing some list of websites also if you wish to enhance your listening skills. So all these are very interesting websites where one can practice and develop their listening skills. Followed by speaking, again, how mall could be used. So TED Talks in India, we also have similar platform like Ink Talks, where there are so many talks that you can watch, you can listen to them again and again. Don't only listen to them once, listen to them at least twice or thrice. That is how you can develop your speaking skills also. Lingbay is another community-based app where people from different parts, come together. They can exchange language, talking. They can talk to each other, and this is a fun way of making friends learn about their cultures. Hello Talk is similar to Lingbay, but is the first global language and culture exchange community, and again, it is free. Google Assistant is the best way we can train Google Assistant. We can also get things, even we can develop our pronunciation and understand whether what we pronounce is correct or not, whether Google Assistant is able to recognize it or not. Then English speaking practice is also possible. With this talk platform, hundreds of recorded conversations are available. And then, of course, Zoom, CMC, computer mediated communication, Zoom, or we are using StreamYard here, or any other such platform could be used. These are some of the websites for practicing your speaking skills. And in speaking, as we know, pronunciation is the most problematic area. So OUP, Oxford University Press, has some free resources, or we can use text to speech systems or platforms like DSpeech, Speaking Notepad, Voice Text, and so on and so forth. So here are some websites for various activities on the speaking skill. The second last is reading, where you can, for example, here set speed, and that is how words appear one after the other. And Spritz is the name of the platform that you can use to enhance your speed. But of course, we don't read one word at a time when we read actually. So that you need to keep in mind. Reading Buddy is another interesting platform by Oxford. Aldico is again an e-book reader application that we can use. These are some websites for the development of reading skills in English. And the last one from the four skills is writing, because when we see how people write around us, when we go outside, a lot of mistakes, spelling, pronunciation, when it comes to speaking. But in writing, spelling is something that really leaves much to be desired. And therefore, writing skills have to be developed. Even punctuation really matter. If we don't use punctuation, the meaning might also change. If I say we are going to learn to cut and paste kids, if there is no comma before the word kids, the meaning changes. Same is the case here. Let's say grandma and let's say grandma, the meaning changes. And if I say a woman, without her, man is nothing. So woman is important. But if I say a woman without her man is nothing, now man is important. So punctuation really plays very important role. Language can also be used innovatively. Look at this, like forest department, there was a signage: shoot the bird with camera, not with gun. Traffic department, donate blood but not on roads. Petrol pump, no smoking. Your life may be worthless, but our petrol is costly. And hospital board, if you still want to continue looking at girls even after your death, donate your eyes. So writing is a powerful tool and you can use it. So here are some platforms where you can practice your writing, like BBC Learning English, Game to Learn English, Power Box. Then Memrise is another platform where you can have different languages. Another systems that we also need to develop along with the four basic skills in English are grammar and vocabulary. When it comes to grammar, you have to overcome certain challenges like bilabial sound. You must know that f is labiodental. Pronunciation of words like school, scooter are not e-school or e-scooter, but school, scooter, especially when they begin with two consonant letters. So, unlearning through drills is very essential, and therefore, learn English grammar where you can practice different aspects of grammar. English idioms illustrated, where there are more than 150 beautifully illustrated idioms. Hangman is another interesting game for enhancing your vocabulary. Google Expeditions is another platform where you can really get immersed in the process of learning and teaching, because you can have virtual reality trips with artificial intelligence technology. Like Volcano, if I teach, I draw, students may not find it as interesting as when they are asked to wear, an instrument which shows them virtual picture or videos of volcano. Anki flashcards can be used for vocabulary, and even these are some of the websites that one can use to develop their vocabulary and grammar. Then some more apps like Mind Mapper, Hello English, Your R, DRO, Google Classroom, Read Aloud. And of course, social media can also be explored. Like these are some of the famous Telegram channels that you can, subscribe to. And Instagram also, there are certain challenges, platforms that you can use. Then massive open online courses, these are some of the interesting websites that one can explore. In a nutshell, what we understand is technology can provide ample opportunities for our learners to get authentic language and exposure, and learn, not only learn but probably unlearn and relearn, reinforce, repeat, and also collaborate with others, because with technology even the quietest student can get his voice, because there is much freedom autonomy, and most importantly, motivation to learn. So, in a nutshell, I can say that technological resources is not automatically going to be a learning resource. It will only become an important resource when it is in hands of good teachers like all of you, who are thoughtfully able to integrate such platforms into a planner learning process. So let me reiterate that technology will never replace teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can bring in much transformation to the field of education. So, keeping in mind what we have discussed today, we must look at all such digital platforms critically. We also need to develop new ways to teach and redesign learning experience, keeping in mind the advancement in technologies day by day. We also need to explore artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, cloud computing, and the list can go on, and focus on the development of these 21st century skills, and also adaptability, resilience, creativity, and higher problem solving capabilities, where we also help our students to overcome stress, anxiety, and reduce screen time. And therefore, we need to provide holistic solutions, because the future of the world, remember, is in my classroom today. We touch the future because we teach. Thank you very much for your active listening and patient listening. Here are my contact details. I once again thank the organizer for this wonderful opportunity to be here and share, allowing me to share my ideas. Thank you very much. Over to you, Professor Yarnis. Thank you once again. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I just moved my mic. Thank you, sir, for your nice presentation.
Thank
Sir,
you.
we will go our quiz session. After completing our quiz session, we come back again in our question answer session. Okay, sir?
Sure, sure.
Okay, sir. Uh, Dear participant, after some short video, we go our quiz session. To enjoy this quiz session, we go to our we have to go slido.com. After that, you have to enter the code. The code is IGP. Dear participant, after some minutes later, we will start our quiz competition. To join this session, you have to go slido.com. After that, you have to enter the code. The code is IGP. Dear participant, after 2 minutes later, we start our quiz competition. If you join in our quiz session, you have to go slido.com. After that, you have to put IGP. Enter the code IGP. Dear participant, now we start our quiz competition. First question. NSTE stands for National Council of Teachers of English. First option true, second option false. And the correct answer is true. Next question. Which of the following is an issue for ELL? First option, the need to differentiate instruction. Second option, not enough resource for teachers to use. And the correct answer is option A, the need to differentiate instruction. Next question. What is the support for authentic assessment? First option, video conferencing. Second option, email. And the correct answer is video conferencing. Question number 4 is, what is social networking for educators? First option, the practice of using social media to enhance students' education. Second option, after work social hour. And the correct answer is the practice of using social media to enhance students' education. 5 question is, what does the National Council for Social Studies do? First option, provides publication and resource to English teachers. Second option, help students become educated in social studies. And the correct option is option 2, helps students become educated in social studies. Uh, Six now question is, which is one of the four categories for ISTE standards for teachers? Option 1, integration of technology and language pedagogy. Second option, using online apps. And the correct answer is option A, integration of technology and language pedagogy. Next question. ACE stands for Association for the Advancement of Computing in Education. First option true, second option false. And the correct answer is true. Next question. Which is an issue for foreign language learning? First option, native English speakers can't teach a foreign language. Second option, the need of authentic material and perspective. And the correct answer is option 2, the need for authentic material and perspective. Uh, Nine question is, CEC stands for Council for Exceptional Student. First option true, second option false. And the correct answer is true. Last question is teaching immigrants English how to live, dress like white middle class is called what? First option, Americanization, Indianization. And the correct answer is Americanization. Congratulations, top 10 quiz competition winner. Today's quiz competition winners, we have all of your names which you entered during join. We will pick and prepare certificates and will post them on our Facebook page within 15 minutes. Our Facebook page is Institute of Global Professional. After short video, we will go for our question answer session. Let's enjoy our question answer session. Mm. Welcome back, sir. Our quiz answer session.
Yeah, thank you
Uh,
very much. And let me take this opportunity to congratulate all the winners.
okay, sir. Um, Sir, now we start our question answer session.
Yeah, certainly, I'm ready. I'll try my best to answer questions.
Okay, sir. Dear participant, if you have any question, you can ask your question in our comment box.
Yeah, I see there is a question by Flomi R. Salvejo. Please excuse me if I'm making any mistake in pronouncing your name. So he's asking, why are teachers called digital immigrants? How has technology
Yes,
changed our language? Yeah, so can I go ahead?
yes, sir. You can
Yeah,
ask
so
your
very
question.
good afternoon, Professor Flomi. Thank you very much for this very pertinent and interesting question. There could be as far as using technology is concerned, there could be different categories. Some of us may have phobia, that is fear of using technology, and therefore, if I have that fear of using technology, I may be technophobic. I am digital immigrant when I know that I was when the period in which I was born, there was less technology, but still I managed to learn, adapt to this, and develop my technological skills. And digital natives are people who are born with technology. They have been exploring technology since their childhood, so it is like they are immersed in the use of technology. So these categories could differ from one person to another. Most of us fall under the category of digital immigrants. As I said, when we were born, there was no technology for us to explore, but now we have to use technology to teach. That is why I called ourselves as teachers as digital immigrants. Now, how technology has changed our language, that is how I started my session. Like, so all these words have got different meanings. Again, as I said, there has been much debate. Some people support this idea as technology has influenced, and they call it creative use of language. On the other side, some people do not support. They say that this is exploitation of language. So language will keep on changing as technology advances, and during my session I threw some light on this aspect, citing examples of printing, radio, television, broadcasting, computer. So language will always keep on changing as technology advances. So I hope I was able to answer his question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Uh, Dear participant, if you have any question, you can ask this question in our comment box. We are waiting for your question. I think there is no more question.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation and share your knowledge. Thank you so much. I hope everyone. Hello, sir.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Please go ahead.
okay, sir. Any last for our participant? Any last word? Any last word
Yeah,
for
yeah.
our?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you once again. I am thankful to each and every participant for your active participation. I could see that they also responded to all the quizzes and exercises that we had during the session. I thank each one of you for being here today with us. Thank you very much. I hope the session was useful to certain extent to all of you. I look forward to receiving your feedback as well. So wish you all a very happy time ahead. Thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity. Over to
Okay,
you.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um, Dear participant, we are today we cannot share any certificate code for our technical problem. Thank you everyone for your activity for your thank you everyone. Stay happy and stay blessed. Thank you.